Hello, everybody, and welcome. We'll be waiting a couple of minutes to make sure that everybody has the chance to sign in. So we'll start in about 2 minutes. So once again, welcome, and welcome to this innovation webinar on turbocharging the value chain. A couple of logistics items before we start proper. If you have any question during the presentation, use the Q&A button that's on the top of your screen or maybe on some setup at the bottom of your screen to type in your Q&A. We'll answer those questions at the end of our presentation. And if we run out of time, we'll provide you with email addresses where you can send your question to. There will be a survey emailed just after the webinar, so please answer it. It's really critical for us to ensure the quality of our productions and make sure that we provide webinars that are interesting and useful to you. Our next upcoming webinar is Dr. Minas Joannides, who will be presenting on prostate cancer, update from the WAVE, Optimum's Life Underwriting Manual on April 23rd at 10 a.m. Central. My name is Jean-Marc Fix. I'm Vice President of R&D Biometric Risks at Optimum Re, and I will be the first presenter today. My specialty is mortality underwriting, and innovation comes in hand as there are so many tools that have been developed addressing those issues. So it is a natural fit for me to be up to date on what's happening on the innovation world. And I have the pleasure to introduce Jane Wang. Jane is the CEO of Optimity, an award-winning wellness engagement platform that delivers personalized holistic health program with microlearning, wearable devices, and gamification to support healthy living. In the last 9 years, she has led the team to codify 30+ years of behavior science into mobile apps and digital programs to serve 3 million members across North America. Prior to Optimity, Jane led innovations in dynamic health risk scoring and specialized in digital patient engagement programs for phase 2 and 3 for global clinical trials. She is passionate about prevention and proactive health programs to improve population health and mortality using nudges and the joy of gamification, which she'll explain a little bit later. So the first part of the program, I'll be talking about the landscape of innovation very briefly, give my framework on how I look at the value propositions out there, and then we'll expand on a specific case, Optimity's case study, and what their platform allow us, an insurance company, to do. So the way I look at the value chain, it has 5 elements. But before we go to that, it's important to remember that maybe 10 years ago, we were worried in the industry that somebody coming up, somebody like Amazon or Google would be coming up with the perfect life insurance solutions, and we all be either working for them or looking for a job. And as you well know, this has not happened and is not anywhere near happening. Part of it is because life insurance is not a low-hanging fruit at all. It's more like a coconut tree. It's hard to reach the fruits, and they're hard to get into. So at least for the near future, I think we're safe. And innovation and insurtech companies have focused more on providing tools of value to reinforce what we do and allow us to do it cheaper, better, faster. So at least we're safe in the near future with these orientations. So for an understanding of the tools, I'll look at 5 elements of that value chain. Acquisition, how to get customers, development, how to build products and support products that they can buy. Evaluation is underwriting, understanding the risk you're getting into. Communication is in gray because that's the weakest part, I think, in our link is communication with our clients. And then fulfillment is the claim process. As some of the astute readers or viewers may have noticed, my little graphics on the right was done with AI. And you notice that ChatGPT, that visualization program, has a hard time understanding what a chain is about. It took me 15 tries to get that graphics to where I thought it was acceptable. Of course, it's a lot better than what I could have drawn, but still, AI is not quite where you need to go, and it does not understand, for instance, the concept of chain if you look at that chain. So one of the advantages of all this innovation and insurtech space is that it allows the smaller player to really have the tools to compete with some of the bigger players, even though they might not have the development resources they need to create their own tools. There are tools out there that gathers, best thoughts that can be used by them. So I think that's one of the positive development of this explosion of insurtech. So we'll be covering each of the 5 points, and then Jane will be expanding on the communication side with the offer for that. So if we look at acquisition, the direct-to-consumer platforms and that model of acquiring insurance clients has really not panned out very much. What's been more successful has been funnels that gather users in some areas to funnel to more traditional insurance companies. Although we've seen some good use of social purpose in the marketing, which is, I think, an important value for life insurance, because life insurance is all about social purpose and helping not yourself, but those that are close to you. Also, gamification. Gamification has been useful in bringing difficult processes into easy, understandable elements, and maybe fun even to follow elements. And Jane will expand on that. There's also been a lot of development on the application process, way to gather the information from the apps, make the apps easy to use, incorporate some behavioral economics concept in the app, some identity verification, some filling up ahead of time. So anything to improve the application, and also in the back end to get the data captured in the app inside your systems. And it's not just the data that you get from the user inputting their personal information. It's also the metadata that you get from the time it takes for the user to answer each questions, go back. That gives you a lot of valuable feedback on the thought process of the client or the potential client. On the development side, predictive analytics and AI have been on the forefront. Predictive analytics has been the hammer that the actuarial staff likes to use. Everything can be used with that hammer, so everything looks like a nail. And that's one thing to be careful about, that predictive analytics is just a tool like any others. And if you can use your tool for good, or you can use your tool in a poor way and get poor results. So predictive analytics as a handy tool is not a fix-all type of solution. Your brain is the fix-all type of solution. I won't go a lot in artificial intelligence, but there has been some push on making that less of a black box, because that's what essentially it is. So there's been a big push now to make artificial intelligence understandable, explainable. Recently, as an article where some researchers on breast cancers came up with a scoring system that was really derived from an AI system they had derived previously, but that was a black box and was quite good at its job. But they preferred a redesign that focused on explainability. That wasn't quite as good as the prior score, but that was still much better than what was available, and also, more importantly, understandable by the medical practitioners and the people using the system. So that was a really big plus. So look for development in explainability in the artificial intelligence world. There is a lot of regulatory scrutiny on that as well. So it is going to be in the front and center for your thinking in the years to come. Also, other supports are on administration platforms, on document management, on the many other of the computer backbone that helps put your product into business fairly easily. On the evaluation side, of course, we're all familiar with AU systems now. Many companies have them. Most of them are still based on rules engine. And the problem with a rules engine is that it never will be as good as a good underwriter. There's always cases where the underwriter's experience will not be in the rules. So that's a limitation. Scores, so all kind of risk scores have been incorporated, have been tried to be incorporated in AU systems with more or less success. The big issue with scores, of course, is a lot of time, once again, it's a hard to understand box, and that can create regulatory difficulties. But it's a kind of a necessity if you want to have an AU system that performs at least on par with current underwriting. Medical information, there's been a lot of sources of accessing medical information faster than the attending physician statement, be it prescription, medical claim, EHR, the way to get your APSs even, existing lab values, a plethora of instant or quasi-instant medical information has not been available and can be digested if you have the computing muscle and incorporated in your decision process. There's been also new data sources. They're still quite unproven, but could be interesting. One of them is the use of dental records for general health, in particular smoking, and of epigenetics for smoking and alcohol use. So those are still, I would say, experimental in my mind, but something to keep an eye on. Finally, a lot of buzz has been coming around with the summarization tools. So there's been a few systems that are able to extract meaningful information from your PDF files. But there's been, with the birth of generative AI, some push to get some really human-readable summarization tools that can really save the traditional underwriter quite a bit of work. On the claim side, first, being a math major, my art education was defective, I guess, and it took me a long time to realize that still life was really kind of a metaphor for death, and the cup that's on the side, laying outside side, is a representative of that. But I think it's even a better metaphor for life insurance, because on the table is what the person has provided for the people that are not that he or she has left behind. So I think it's even a better metaphor for that. On the claim side, many of the tools on the underwriting and evaluation side are also usable on the claim sides. That medical summarization I mentioned is also very useful for contestable claims. There's quite a few fraud checking and identification checking that also will make the claims person's job a little bit easier. And then we get to the weak link in our value chain, the communication link. And it's kind of ironic because there is no other industry in my mind where our values and our customer values are in perfect alignment. Our customers want to live long and healthy lives, and we also want them to live long and healthy life. Yet we do nothing about that. We send them bills on a regular basis and, required disclaimers, and that's about all the communication most companies have. And now there are tools to do more than that. And Jane will be explaining one of them, or at least expanding on one of them. But they can take a number of uses on nudging your client's behavior in a better way, motivate them to do the right thing, and also generate business. So Jane, the floor is, oops, sorry, if I page down, the floor will be yours.
Sounds good. Thanks, Jean-Marc. That's a great history lesson, and I think it really brings us to today, right? And Optimity, we are have the privilege of building the company for the last 9 years, and we're really at the intersection of health and financial wellness for consumers. So we're really a B2B2C company, and we started by focusing on really first on the health engagement of the creating this great pocket coach and an enterprise tool that supports now millions of members on their holistic health. So that's physical, mental, nutrition, financial wellness, and so on. So as the consumer, as the policyholder and member have their first child, as their family grows, as they experience health issues and as they care for a loved one, or even manage their end of life. So on Optimity, we're really supporting that consumer's life journey, tapping into their daily needs and wrapping the relevant services and content and joyful nudges to help them maximize their longevity. And this is where we could enable and really help solve a problem in this industry for insurance. So I didn't come from insurance, I came from health. So I really wanted to make a difference within, right, the members. And I found that our insurance clients were really trying to change from this transactional relationship into something that they can add value. And they're also facing some core issues with the modernization of their business. So in the first place, as we work with companies that maybe have started as mutuals or are like still fraternals, they're finding this deterioration of connection, both in the reason that exists, the purpose of a company, but also in the lack of communication and data permissioning. So you're seeing that across really the world, but in North America, you're seeing, right, all these anti-spam and all these data so you need to have a real reason to connect with someone. You can't just, ping them with promotions and newsletters all the time. You have to get explicit like acknowledgement of what you're doing, and then also you need to have value that you're adding to them. So Optimity became a tool to allow to do that. The second problem was really around the retention challenges in an industry that had really flat and negative growth. There's not that much product differentiation. So about 10 years ago, there is this movement towards thinking about where we can align value with dynamic underwriting and dynamic products. And then that now has evolved into really near-term value. You can see really in the retention and what we call like healthy persistency. So we can kind of unpack that a little bit. And then the last part is the increasing cost of acquisition. So we also had a chance to work with a lot of direct-to-consumer companies. So this is anything from, Ethos to Haven Life that no longer exists to lots of really interesting consumer brands in both Canada and the US. And we're finding that with them, they're also having really high cost of acquisition, and Optimity became a really organic way and a way to fuel younger consumer growth, which is very aligned and also attracts really a healthy population too. So we'll talk about health selection as well. So all to kind of summarize, you are at a really interesting time in the world, right? We're at an industry inflection point. This is a really great time where we just been through a pandemic. So health and wellness is on the minds of all consumers, right? All the McKinsey studies this year has been really talking about how over 82% of consumers are really thinking about health and wellness. And you're seeing that, I'm seeing that at least in our business, we became profitable last year and we're a Series A venture funded company. So growth is important, but we're seeing lots of growth within the employer market. They're providing health initiatives, things that make sense for them. The carriers are also taking notice, looking at this health related terms. And this is all fueled by this consumer need to strive for longevity. So Jean-Marc, if we can go to the next slide. Yeah. Wellness itself has been big and growing. It's been growing kind of organically, but then in the last 3-4 years during COVID and post-COVID, it's really taken off. So the customers have strong interest in their own physical health as well as the financial wellness. We're at such an interesting time in history where all consumers have this kind of sensitivity towards what's going on in their health and life. So if you can add value to them in that sense, this is where we align with the world on helping billions of people live healthier and longer. We've been on this mission to really maximize the impact by creating health and financial wellness outcomes. And our vision is always to partner with a member from cradle to grave and to optimize how long they live with improved health spans and quality of life. What that has now looked like is this breakthrough solution that enables this paradigm shift. So it's super easy to adopt. It's a software as a service. So it's not, you're not requiring to put like $10-20 million to like start the platform. We give you the capabilities to power member engagement. We really taken that decades of behavior science out of these universities that we got to work with, and anything from really like Western and Stanford and University of Michigan. They had all these science, and it was being used in some like health ecosystem. Like I got to use them in clinical trials, but we were now able to build these consumer grade tools that creates proprietary data for our insurance clients or employer clients. It has these joyful components that are gamified, so it's not just like boring like questionnaires and forms and health risk assessments. We can do that, and then we have this ability to increase touch points in communication through micro nudging and nudging capabilities. So this holistic wellness solution is also interesting because it's similar to Netflix, right? When you open a Netflix, your own Netflix portal, yours will look quite different from mine because you have different preferences. Maybe, right? Jean-Marc will probably see something that makes sense to him. Maybe it's in French. Maybe there's information that's interesting to him. It's relevant to what he's trying to do physically, what his current preferences are, what his goals are, whereas mine will be that too. So we've now curated all these personalized experiences on different journeys to meet people where they are. So on the same platform, so on Optimity, we're really serving 6 generations of consumers and along their key life events. So I think that's also something that allows a partner like a carrier to not build all these different types of things for just the sake of marketing, whereas we are supplying that in terms of a value add perspective. And I think if we kind of come back into the science of it, I also started as a scoring specialist. So I was doing mortality risk for a number of diseases. And what we really found, so I got to start working on my journey with Alzheimer's research, and then I did HIV, ovarian cancer, and also MS. And what's interesting in the data is that in order to predict how well someone will do on a medication and how adherent they will be to that medication, hence how long they will live, it's really multifactorial. So we really looked at everything from their current physical health to nutrition to mental health and social connectedness, and that was really fascinating. So I'll kind of double tap on that as we go through this. Social connectedness in terms of community and how they connect, do they have other people that are caring for them and that they care for, and then also their financial wellness, right? It's very connected to your and health outcomes. Do you have the things to get the treatment to support you through that treatment overall? So when we started building Optimity back in 2023, it's really around all 5 pillars. And then it's through this phygital experience, which is physical, digital. So in real life, our clients are now able to own these life moments, so they can see the snapshot of their population. You can, this is basically a sample from one of our clients. You can see that we are generating information about household income and what they want to do. Do they have kids? Are they seeking financial support? And then the carriers that we work with can own those life moments to wrap experiences, value adds, and also financial products that match to the user's needs. Yeah, so it's been an amazing journey over the last 9 years. We'll be celebrating our 10th year this year in May. We've won many awards. It really kind of started in the Valley. We built it in really out of San Francisco, and we won a number of startup awards really starting to scoring using the wearable. It was during 2023, 2024. So there was a little company called Fitbit coming up. Garmin was just building. Apple just launched their first watch. So it was an interesting time indeed. So one of the research projects I got to work on and I got to collaborate with the Stanford Wearable Labs is to take that information as kind of the telematics for your life and to predict health and outcomes with it. And what we found, of course, over the next 5-7 years, and now we have longitudinal data for over 2 decades of wearable information, is that yes, it indeed is a really great predictor of how someone will do and how healthy they are. Because guess maybe you're even if you're like not feeling very well, you'll actually start first showing symptoms of that by not moving, right? If you're kind of upset or depressed, you'll actually have steps, in the 2,000 to 3,000 step range. If you actually have an injury, you're also doing that. So you may not even know it. So it's really fantastic as a prediction tool and as a segmentation tool to take anyone from the internet and put them kind of into these quintiles, like these buckets of risk. And then over the last 3 to 4 years, we've been really winning a lot of awards about delivering consistent engagement results for our B2B clients. So we got to, I think we're going to go through some really amazing case studies, but we got to work with clients, and all of our clients had over 30 to 40% monthly active in multi-year programs. We've done 16 different types of early exploration projects, and now we have 3 key values that we can help them, which is really helping with the digital capabilities, the omni-channel communication with nudges with over 80 to 90% of the people on the platform. We can do a dynamic health risk assessment, which enables advanced data analytics and health scoring, and creating this seamless physical digital experience around communities. And now, because of the traffic is so consistent, 30 to 40% is the type of monthly active traffic that you're going to be able to see on something like an Instagram or something like Amazon. So you can really generate exciting new revenue opportunities as well. So I'm excited for the next decade of the work that we get to do, because we are looking to really kind of build on the foundation of these business and health outcomes results, right? So Sun Life has been an early client. We started in the group benefits space with them, but then we moved quickly into the retail life insurance as a pilot. So they partnered with us to digitally engage and interact with their policyholders that held term products. And in the first year, we had 7% adoption, and then the second year we started building with them. So we were in the teens, which were already hitting kind of the best in class numbers. In year 3, we really worked on advisors and really helping them to attract better risk as well. So they had over 40 something percent. That's when we won our first award with them. And then in our 4th year, we have achieved 52% adoption. So I think that's really, really exciting, and probably one of the best pilots kind of done in the insurance space. And then they've maintained 46% monthly active after 18 months as well. So lots of data points and generating a lot of sales leads, even within the first 6 months. So there's many other data benefits that was generated by this. So I think there's, right, like that just creates a foundation for growth. Another type of client that we have with, for example, Satori, they're an employer that we work with in the US. They're actually a cheese factory. So I don't know if you guys eat Satori cheese. I do. It's pretty good. I really like it. They really partnered with us to enhance employee engagement in non-traditional settings, right in the cheese factories. And they've achieved over 60% participation in a step challenge that year. So which is 10 times more exciting than what they've done before. They've now been our client for our 6th year in a row. They're over 75% in terms of health risk assessment without paying each participant $200 to do it. So gathering lots of information and data and getting people active during even COVID times. And we save them a ton of time in terms of HR in administering like wellness programs. And we have hundreds of clients that are like this. And then the last one, they're a newer client. They're in the fraternal space. So this is our second fraternal client. Our first one was a little bit larger. But GBU, they've been an excellent partner. They really were trying to digitize their member wellness programs. And their goal is to scale to their entire customer base. And what's exciting about that is that they've achieved like 60% weekly active users, which is what we call a wow metric, right? After 24 months. And this is really strong because they can really leverage our social connectedness. And we've gone further to customize so much of the volunteering challenges at helping them creating this physical, digital connected programs. They've activated many people into these monthly challenges. And what's exciting too is that they're eating their own cooking too. So they're leveraging it internally as an employee wellness tool, as well as a member engagement tool. We couldn't ask for a better partner. And I think they've got some exciting stuff cooking for consumer as well that we'll be supporting them on as well. So our app experience is very consumer grade. There, everything is micro, so it could be done within a minute, and they all stack up. So everything from onboarding to personalized journeys to assessments and community and rewards. Jean-Marc, I don't know if you're able to play the videos for these.
Oh, unfortunately, I don't think so.
No.
Well, let me try. I'll click and we'll see what happens.
All right.
I'm not seeing a lot of activity here.
Yeah.
So I
That's
guess you'll have the poor man's animation on the right is all you get.
yeah. Long and short of it, I guess, the app experience is really excellent, and I'll be happy if any of you are interested in seeing it to hook you up with a free tech trial for your team so you can see it and experience kind of the community and the health and the consumer joy while you follow your own health journey to maybe lose a few pounds or to address something like tracking continuous glucose if you're a diabetes patient. So as we help, manage sometimes tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and of people's data, altogether 3 million people's data, we're really showing it to the people that are managing the program. So our B2B clients are getting the snapshot of all the metrics and the dashboard. So our admin dashboards have strategic elements and also really important data reporting elements. This is a place where you can spend really focused energy on targeting communications and pushed announcements and content to important segments of the member. So you can say, hey, for all the new moms out there, right, here is a great product for you. Here is a great program for you. So we've done lots of stuff around Project Mama. I had the privilege of having 2 babies in the last 4 years. So I got to participate in a lot of this and build this really amazing like life events value add, as well as communications around it. And then all the reporting on data. So one distinction between what we've really adopted as a ethos early on in our journey, when we generated the data, we owned the data, we analyzed it, we gave it as actionable insights to our clients. And then as we evolved, we actually realized it's even better as we partner with, for example, reinsurers and also the carriers themselves. So actually all the data that we generate for a client, the client owns. And we have access to it for which we can analyze it and create insights for the clients, but the clients can accumulate that information. And the goal is to work collaboratively, right? 1 + 1 + 1 equals to 6, hopefully. So this is where we're able to partner with the reinsurers and the carriers to do more advanced things and to pave a path into dynamic underwriting for a new era of dynamic products. So if you're interested in that, I definitely welcome you to chat with me and more of the product research team on our side. I'm a huge proponent for prevention. So I did this because I worked on a lot of early prevention for different cancers and early screenings. And this is also what drives me. I lost my mom really early in my career. So that's she was only 52 at the time, and we weren't able to do anything in terms of prevention. So this is really the purpose of our work and those behind my team. That's why you see in light blue within Optimity, we own all the prevention content. So we do it for actually the top 10 all-cause mortality. We also do it for the top 6 diseases that drive claims within group benefits, as well as women's health issues. So we own all of that, and you get that de facto as part of the platform. And then we partner for any of the third-party health solutions, and there's so many amazing ones coming up, everything from, on diabetes, there's a ton, like everything from Omada to specific lifestyle reversal programs through diet and so on. So we connect to them and we reward the user for doing any sort of clinical visits or being adherent on their lifestyle, so their food, their exercise, and so on, that help with a particular disease journey. We take this all the way to medication adherence as well as caregiver related journeys. And this really fulfills our full spectrum of wellness. And what's really interesting and exciting about that is that we are the engagement operating system for our clients. So all that data syncs back to our carrier clients. And again, that sets up the foundation for really a better, more integrated future. So to summarize, why, right, the wellness engagement operating system, it consists of the consumer apps. So the user can track their steps, they can track their wearables, they earn rewards, they can gamify their achievements every day, and they can do community challenges. And they will also receive special offers for whatever thing that makes sense for them, whether they're a new grad or a new parent, or buying their new first house or first home. And then on the enterprise solutions side, we're powering really this white labeled or co-labeled comprehensive system. And it has all the advanced, really modern, best in class features, I would say, that's available to you. But I think the most important part that what we do is to really get the engagement from a really significant portion of the members and policyholders, and to establish that channel of communication by giving them something of value and something that's joyful and fun. So yeah, the key insight here is that why build a funnel in life insurance when you can have an engagement flywheel, which gives you really a lifetime of opportunity to connect with 6 generations of people. We want to help you be just like, just like a consumer experience. We're hitting #1 app in the app stores, and over 90% of the users are really syncing these key events. So allowing our clients the opportunity to be relevant on a daily, weekly basis in a value add way. Thinking about tomorrow, what's going on currently, we are a active sales engine and powering growth So we've generated millions of affiliate sales by just helping the consumer purchase health, nutrition events, and so on. But I think what's exciting is that there's a bunch of health, like health related insurance financial products. So this is what's going on tomorrow for us. We take an iterative framework. So our path to success to work with our clients, we see our clients as our partners. So part one is we can, within the first year, help them boost engagement, help with brand perception, help with retention and persistency. So this is where they can test the program, they can measure adoption, they can really get the improvement in CSAT, NPS, any sort of key metrics in the building blocks of the business case, and that already creates kind of a cost neutrality in the business case. And then part two, this is where we can expand the program, create longitudinal data, and do go to market to add more members and clients to them. And I think GBU is a really good example of that. There's many other mutuals that are doing the same thing and so on. The exciting part is that exactly like what Jean-Marc said, the life insurance industry is such a good alignment to our mission tool, which is this B2B2C alignment where we want the consumer to live a long time. We want to give them the tools to do that. And by doing so, in the meantime, we help close the loop and we close the gap for communication and the permissioning that's needed to be able to reinforce that mission, right? To reinforce that connection and generate more profitable business. I think this is the last part of my presentation. There's 2 slides to this. The key here is many people, one of the biggest questions that I get is how long does it take to run a program? How much effort is this? This is a new skill set. We don't have a lot of tech people, tech resources. And we know that we've got to work with 16 partners so far. So it's we've really codified and created a prescriptive process. So the aqua part is Optimity. So we take on the bulk of the work with the client, really with, a quarter or a half full-time person. They can really approve a lot of the work and do the ongoing maintenance of it as well. So this is how we save the clients hundreds of hours in administrating the program. And we are really seen as, like, we see ourselves as a partner, as an extension of our clients' team. So we're the tech people. And then this is the second part of it too. So this is the extent of our work. So the whole point is to help you leapfrog with ease. And this is why we win a lot of our clients. The first part is we help really modernize the distribution. How about, everything from data enrichment to segmentation to generating leads to helping pre-qualify. We help do that. The second is that for all the health component of it, we own that. That is our expertise. That is our team. So we bring a full solution to the table. And then the last part is the data analytics part of it. So as I said, we generate the data for our clients. And then what we do with that data is that we help create insights and actionable insights like you see in this bubble here. So for Marie, right, like what's her real name? Like what are these key things that she cares about and how do we service her? So all of these insights that we have is perfectly permissioned for communication. So you can actually ping her specifically based on these things and add value to her and be able to service her in the best way possible. Yeah, I'm excited for, the next decade, as I said, because I find that we are really the enabler to help with your gateway and hub for better health and financial wellness for your members and policyholders.
Thank you very much, Jane. I mentioned earlier, if you have any questions that pop up in your mind after this webinar, those are the email address that you want to use. Engage at optimity.life for Jane's and Optimity, and info.us@optimumre.com for any reinsurance or insurance question related to this. I have a couple of questions, so now it's your chance to ask questions. A couple people have figured out how to use the Q&A button, so I guess you have it all. So please feel free to type a question, and we'll have, I think, plenty of time to answer all our questions. My first question is, what scale of program can you provide a proof of a successful result?
Yeah, it depends on if you're an employer or a carrier. So I'll answer the two questions. So for the employer programs, we provide programs for companies with over 100 employees. If you're under 100, you can get on actually our free program called Optimity for Teams. You can find that on the website. But for 100 plus, we can start generating data and improvements in culture and health and so on. So we can report better on it with over 100 employees. On the carrier programs, we are tracking things like persistency, retention, and then also a lot of nuanced metrics. So usually our pilots start at 10,000 users. And most of them actually scale up into a few 100,000, policyholders and so on. So at that scale, you'll be able to see everything, just such amazing detailed reports, and every single user is tracked as a single person on here, so you can really kind of correlate. So we've had many multi-line carriers, and they're able to kind of really cross-pollinate and see that and really set up this future that is less siloed in the practice. So I hope that answers your question.
Thanks, Jane. Another question here. Without a culture of engaging with and servicing customers in a proactive manner, how will these amazing tools get integrated into the insurance space and benefit insurers and their clients? So
Yeah, that's yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, I think that's such a great question, by the way, because that was a question that really came up a huge amount prior to COVID, because many people didn't really see how digital tools like this could kind of go into this paper-based, mail-out-based industry that is mailing out bills. And I think we've come a long way since that 3 years ago. So I think it's actually simpler than you think. What's interesting is that almost all consumers know how to use the QR code because of COVID. So many times we actually